What is up, everyone? Wanting to talk about the trade war, temporary trade war that we had with Colombia. Good old Petro was the man who never could. Tried to reject his own citizens, claiming they're treated very poorly. It's quite disgusting how the United States is treating these illegal aliens that they're trying to deport. Treat them with some dignity, Trump. Stop putting these illegal immigrants that are breaking the law on planes and sending them back to me. I don't want them. It's what I got. What his messaging, how I interpreted his messaging. That's how I understood it. He doesn't want them. You don't want your criminals back? Jeez. Yeah, he made a fool of himself. He was all bark, no bite. Trump proposed a 25% tariff on Colombia. I think within an hour he backed down. In the same tweet where Trump proposed the 25% tariff, he said, this will increase in 7 days to 50% if the matter is not resolved. At least, from what I recall, that was in there. I'll put the tweet up on the screen. Or his Truth Social post, I think, is what it was. So funny to me how a country would dare claim we are treating them in an undignified way. You really want to make remarks on what is undignified? Maybe let's shift the conversation to the fact that you weren't even wanting them back in the United States. You were refusing United States military land in Colombia. So not wanting your citizens back seems pretty undignifying, if that's what we're truly concerned about. So funny you have no one cares about what these celebrities have to say. I just enjoy reading about it. Just, hearing them quiet their little tears. Selena Gomez crying, I don't know what to do. I wish I could save you, illegals. Had AOC come out, it's so funny. They clearly cannot hear themselves. They're in their own echo chamber. You're gonna make coffee more expensive now. It's like, okay, so you'd rather have cheap coffee, maybe $1 cheaper, and keep the illegal aliens, criminal illegal aliens. I know criminal is just kind of an add-on there. You'd rather keep them and have a cheaper coffee than deport them and, drats. Who's gonna mow our lawn? Who's gonna... Like, I don't think they understand how that sounds. You know, that I don't like how overused the term racist sounds, but it kind of sounds a little bit racist when you kind of want an underclass that doesn't really have the same rights and protections because they're here illegally. It kind of sounds a little bad whenever you start saying, who's going to wash the dishes? Yikes. Kind of sounds a little bad, don't you think? So I just find it funny how quickly he backed down as soon as the tariffs were proposed. I think it brings up an interesting conversation on how much tariffs can play a role in the geopolitical realm. People don't understand how much of an impact that makes on the company or on the countries you're imposing them on. I'm so glad Trump is not putting up with it. I could care less. Well, let me rephrase that. I think we're treating them as dignified as they deserve. I was going to say I don't care how they're treated. Not necessarily true. They're still humans, yes. However, they should be treated like criminals. I don't want them on a first class plane back to their homeland where they departed from initially. I'm not interested in that. I want to do the bare minimum for these people. I want them back where they came from. If they want to come over, they can do it legally. We can have another conversation about the efficiency of coming over here legally. But I will not tolerate it. I cannot stand it. The fact that people are, I don't know, I want to go back to the AOC comment. Why would we want an underclass that does not have the same rights supporting our economy? Does that not, like, if I just play down the logical conclusion, an illegal immigrant is working. The boss man, it was a little tight this week. I don't think you're getting paid. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Go to the law? Certain states, I'm sure, they probably could without there being any question of citizenship. California, probably New York, the places where these illegals were migrating towards. But it just kind of feels gross, the fact that you'd even want them here. Like, even for their own best interest. I don't necessarily care why, or I don't necessarily care about their best interests whenever they come over here illegally. But I'm just saying, if we're wanting to play the compassionate game, would it not make more sense to advise them to come over here legally, in which they will have the same rights and protections that a true U.S. citizen has? I don't like the idea of our economy being supported from low-skill labor. There's plenty of homeless people who can take those jobs. And I understand. Not every homeless person is going to take a job. Most of those panhandlers, they take the money that they get and go buy more crack from it. There's a reason why they stay on the street. But there are people who will take those jobs. It leads to more competition. Why wouldn't you want all companies within the United States to be owned and operated by someone from the United States? It's hard to compete with someone who can pay illegals way cheaper than a United States citizen. How can me compete with someone who could pay their employees much cheaper? It'd be pretty tough, I think. So no, I don't have any sympathy for these people who are being deported. I don't. I could care less. They shouldn't have come over here the way they did. You might interpret this as being, oh, you must not be for immigration then. The United States is a melting pot. I love the idea of, I think the term is like the brain drain or whatever. And I think it's C1, I forget what visa program. Anyway, like top tier academic performers can come to the United States and work and go to college and go to school and educate. I'm all for that. I love that. Why wouldn't a country want the best and most knowledgeable people in the world to come over here and pour more into the economy? Now, I think it can be dangerous if you bring too many people over. I would argue you shouldn't bring anyone over here until you can fix the issues that are already existing in the United States. Just focus on us, and once we are fit to bring in more people, then, okay, we could have that discussion. That might be a little bit more extreme for most. At least, come over here legally. I could care less at that point. I have no ill will towards people who come over here legally. I think it's great. I hear a lot of great stories of people who come over here and start their own business and make it big. There's a reason they want to come over here. There is opportunity. Come over here legally. And it's so funny because I think the Democrats start strawmanning and arguing, well, that means you don't want any immigration whatsoever. Now, there might be those folks on the right who think that way. But I would say the large majority are pretty easygoing folks. Come over here legally, get your paperwork done, cool, whatever. I could care less. It becomes an issue to me whenever you have people raping and pillaging United States citizens and act like it doesn't happen. So I guess AOC would prefer cheaper coffee than safety and security for the United States citizens. I guess she'd rather prefer seeing murderers, rapists on the streets, pedophiles. I mean, if that's what she wants to run on, hey, I mean, more power to her. Let's not try to sugarcoat anything, right? If she's into that kind of stuff, I mean, shoot, I guess go for it, right? If that's what you really want to run under. Yeesh. I don't know. I feel like there's a culture shift. All I hear is womp womp whenever I hear someone crying over ICE deporting someone. Now, don't get me wrong. It does stink, right? No one wants to go through this. I don't like the fact that the United States is in this position where we have to do this. It's not fun for anyone. I'm just glad it's being addressed. So, that's my little rant. Come over here legally. Do not try to cross the border illegally. Please and thank you. We want safe and secure borders. Come through the right way. You will be treated the right way. That's all I have. So, y'all be good. See ya.
Only people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do.